leaky gut and colitis in remission in just 2 to 4 weeks if we just do what this doctor says. This is when this person started this treatment and their symptoms disappeared very, very fast. This doctor went to Harvard Medical School. This information is from his paper here. They were treating a 9-year-old boy. His symptoms started shortly after mom would no longer let him sleep in bed with her. He took this really rough, super dependent on mother. And she was also a clean freak. Anytime he made a mess, like, she would freak out. So when his ulcerative colitis symptoms started, he was having diarrhea like all over the house, in the bed, in the toilet, in his pants. And this was like really stressing her out. And anytime she was upset, he became upset because, he didn't want to upset mom. And this just made his symptoms even worse. So this graph is showing his symptoms. Right here is when he went into the hospital, and this is how many diarrheas he's having per day. And this is when they started the treatment. During this time in the hospital, they noticed his symptoms would get bad if his roommate in the hospital, made a mess in the bed. He'd go, "Oh no, a mess, a mess." This was programmed into him by his mother to react to messes, just completely unconsciously. But when the doctors and the therapists, saw this pattern in him, they started a therapy to make him less dependent on his mother. They would also have him act out revenge on his mother because he resented his mother for being angry at him, but he couldn't talk back to her. Otherwise, he would just get into more trouble, and he didn't want to make mom upset. So the treatment is to help the kid see these patterns in his symptoms and help him become less dependent on mother. And they also had a talk with the mother as well, being like, hey, you kind of got to take it easy on him. When he makes a mess, he's sensitive about this, he's sensitive about that. We need to give him a little bit reassurance here, a little reassurance there. Like, this is what's causing his symptoms. And whenever they would talk to the kid, it was like, mommy's upset with me. Mommy won't hold me. Mommy won't let me sleep in the bed anymore. It's not about suppressing these emotions. It's about like helping the kid mature so he doesn't have that need anymore. So when it doesn't happen, he doesn't feel negative emotions. One thing they would also do is have the kid act out revenge on the mom, to like hit her with a broom when she tells him to clean things. Now, he wouldn't do that in person, but just acting that out really helped his symptoms. So as you can see right here, he went back home and his symptoms came back a little bit, but they made the adjustments and eventually his symptoms completely went away.